Do you remember the back button dance?
The back button dance. You mean like a celebratory dance when you found a website?
No, definitely not celebratory. I mean, the old way of searching online. It was a chore.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You'd type in your query, hit enter, click the first blue link, realize it's absolute garbage, and then click the back button.
Yep.
Then you click the second link, and maybe it's a recipe blog with a 4-page intro about someone's grandmother.
And you're just looking for how much flour to use.
Exactly. So you click the back button again. You were essentially doing the job of a compiler. You were the processor stitching together an answer from like 5 different tabs.
I see what you mean now. Yeah, it was very active work. You really had to forage for the information yourself.
You did, but today, I mean, I type a question, sometimes a ridiculously complex multi-part question into an AI, and boom, it just tells me the answer.
Like there on the screen.
Right, it's clean, it's synthesized, and honestly, it feels a little bit like magic. But here's the thing. For businesses who used to rely on me clicking those blue links, that magic feels a lot like a threat.
It is a threat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a massive one. Because if the AI gives you the answer directly, the user just stops searching. They stop clicking.
Mm-hmm.
And if your business model depends on that click, on that organic traffic, you have a fundamental problem right now.
Which brings us to today's deep dive. We are looking at a really fascinating piece of strategic literature. It's a guide titled Strategic Timing for British AI Visibility Investment, and it's associated with a group called Rank 4 AI.
It's a great read.
It really is. Now, before we dive in, I have to ask you, title says British. I'm not in London. Most of our listeners tuning into this deep dive aren't in London either. Is this going to be relevant to them?
Oh, it is absolutely relevant. Having analyzed this guide, the British part really just refers to the tone of the strategy.
How so?
Well, it's kind of the antithesis of that Silicon Valley move fast and break things hype that we usually see in tech.
Okay. So let's change the world by Tuesday, and more, keep calm and carry on.
Precisely. It's very measured. The core principles here, they're universal for any business owner. It's addressing the question that every single business leader is losing sleep over right now.
Do I need to spend money on AI visibility today, or is this just another crypto craze I can ignore for 6 months?
That is the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Because the FOMO, the fear of missing out, is very real right now.
Oh, it's everywhere. You open LinkedIn, and suddenly everyone is an AI expert. It feels like if you aren't throwing cash at this right this second, you're already dead.
And that is exactly why we chose this source material today. Its mission is to move past all that FOMO and provide a structured, logical checklist.
Which I am so excited about, by the way. Finally getting a real checklist instead of just vague advice to innovate.
Right. We're going to use this structured reasoning to figure out when investing in AI visibility is a strategic masterstroke and when it's just lighting your cash on fire.
And believe me, there is plenty of cash being lit on fire right now. But before we get to the checklist, we really need to define our terms. The source talks about a shifting landscape. We know AI adoption is up. But what does AI visibility actually mean? Is this just SEO, search engine optimization, wearing a trench coat and a fake mustache?
Not quite. It's a fundamental shift in the actual mechanism.
Okay.
Traditional SEO was about keywords and retrieval. You wanted to rank for a string of text, like, say, best running shoes. Google's job was to go into its massive library, find the book with that exact title, and show it to you. It was essentially a matching game.
Okay, so matching keywords to web pages.
Right. But AI visibility is about semantics and synthesis. When you ask ChatGPT or Gemini a question, it doesn't just look for matching words.
Right.
It reads millions of documents, understands the underlying concepts, and then constructs a new original answer.
So it's basically writing a fresh essay every single time.
Exactly. So AI visibility isn't about ranking on a list. It's about optimizing your content so that when the AI constructs that essay, your brand's perspective or your data or your methodology is actually included in the synthesis.
Wow. So instead of fighting for a slot on a list of links, you're fighting to be part of the explanation. You want to be cited as the source of truth.
That is the perfect way to put it. You are fighting to be part of the generated truth. And the Rank 4 AI guide makes this very astute observation about the context here. It says the goal of this transition should be calm, strategic, and practical.
Keep calm and optimize for AI. I love that.
It's a good motto.
But let's get practical. The guide lists 5 specific indicators. It essentially says, if your business hits these, you need to move now. If not, wait. Let's walk through these because this is really the meat of the deep dive. The first one is reliance on organic search.
This is the big red flashing light. If this applies to you, pay very close attention.
Let's break that down. What does reliance actually look like in this context?
Go look at your analytics dashboard. Where do your customers come from?
Yeah.
If 60, 70, or 80% of your leads come from people typing a problem into Google and clicking your website link, you are in the danger zone.
Because that specific behavior is the one being disrupted.
It's eroding completely. In the industry, we call them zero-click searches.
Right, I've heard that term.
A user searches for how to fix a leaky faucet, and Google's AI overview, or ChatGPT, just gives them a step-by-step guide right there on the results page.
Yeah.
The user reads it, fixes the faucet, and closes the browser.
And the local plumber's website, which actually provided that answer, gets 0 clicks.
Zero. If traffic is your oxygen, the AI is slowly turning off the valve. The source argues that businesses heavily reliant on traditional organic search have the most to lose by doing nothing.
Yeah.
But, and this is a key point, they also have the most to gain.
Why is that? That seems counterintuitive.
Because they already have the content. They have the blogs, the articles, the guides. They just need to reformat it for the machines instead of the humans. They don't have to invent a whole new strategy from scratch. They just need to translate what they already have.
Okay, so if I'm a local bakery and people find me because they smell the bread walking by or they see me on Google Maps, this isn't my emergency.
Probably not.
Yeah.
You rely on foot traffic and local vibes. But if you're a specialized consultant, say you help enterprise companies optimize their supply chain logistics, and people find you by Googling highly specific questions, you need to be paying attention right now.
Which segues perfectly into the second indicator the source highlights, the service-based business model. Now, this one surprised me a little bit. The guide draws a very hard line between products and services.
It does, and honestly, it's a brilliant distinction.
But why? I would have thought product searches like best toaster or cheapest laptop would be prime territory for AI. Those seem like really easy questions for a robot to answer.
They're easy, but they're highly transactional. They're just data points. If you're buying a USB cable, what do you actually care about?
Length, price, maybe speed.
Exactly. Length, price, speed, durability. And AI can compare those specs easily, but there's no real philosophy to a USB cable.
It's a commodity. A cable is a cable.
Exactly. But services, things like legal advice, architectural planning, wealth management, these are fundamentally based on nuance, trust, and methodology.
It's the difference between buying a shovel and hiring someone to design your entire garden.
That is the perfect analogy. When you buy a shovel, you just want a tool. When you hire the garden designer, you aren't just buying a finished result, you're buying their approach, their specific philosophy. You're buying how they think about space and light and soil.
And the source is saying that AI can actually handle that how?
Yes. The source suggests that AI is incredibly good at synthesizing these complex nuances. If you invest in AI visibility, you are essentially teaching the AI your worldview. You want the AI to explain the concept of garden design using your specific framework.
So when a user asks the AI, how should I design a garden for a small urban space, the AI sounds a lot like you.
Yes. It adopts your methodology. It essentially becomes a pre-sales interview that happens without you even being in the room. If you're a service business, you are selling expertise, and AI is becoming the ultimate engine for demonstrating that expertise at scale.
That is so powerful. It's almost like scaling your personality.
Okay.
So that makes total sense for services. Now, the third indicator is one that I think a lot of our listeners will struggle with, or maybe they'll feel relieved by it. It's complex service explanations.
Yes. The dinner party test.
I have a feeling I know exactly what this is.
We all have that friend, right? You ask them what they do for a living at a dinner party, and 20 minutes later, you're still completely confused.
They're using corporate jargon and drawing complex diagrams on napkins.
And you're just nodding and politely looking for the exit.
Right.
Now, in the old world of 10 blue links, those businesses really struggled online. A user clicks your link, sees a massive wall of dense text explaining multivariant cloud integration logistics, gets a headache, and bounces immediately.
Short attention spans killed complex businesses.
Exactly. Keep it simple, stupid was the golden rule of the internet. But AI changes the game for complexity completely. Large language models, LLMs, eat complexity for breakfast.
They actually like the wall of text.
They thrive on it.
Yeah.
They need tokens, words, sentences, paragraphs to fully understand context. They can ingest your dense white papers, your technical documentation, your 50-page case studies, all the stuff humans are way too lazy to read.
Okay.
And here is the real magic. They understand it all, and then they simplify it for the user.
So the AI acts as the translator between your complex business and the impatient customer.
It is the ultimate interpreter. If you have a highly complex value proposition, maybe you sell enterprise-grade cybersecurity integration, it is very hard to explain that simply on a landing page without dumbing it down too much.
Right, you lose the nuance.
But if you feed that deep complexity to the AI, when a prospect asks, how do I secure my cloud infrastructure? The AI can give a beautifully simple answer that is based entirely on your complex data.
So complexity goes from being a liability, something that scares potential customers away, to a huge asset because it's rich training data.
Exactly. If your business is hard to explain, the source argues you should be investing in AI visibility right now. You are uniquely positioned to win here because your competitors who only have simple, shallow marketing content won't have enough meat for the AI to chew on.
That is a massive paradigm shift. Complexity is fuel. Okay, let's move to number 4. This one feels a bit more like traditional business strategy, industry competition.
The look around you factor. This is pure game theory.
See, is this just fear-mongering, though? You know, that whole, the other guys are doing it, so you must too pitch. I feel like consultants use that line to sell literally everything.
Usually I would agree with you, but in the specific context of AI training data, it's actually a mathematical reality. It's about securing first-mover advantage in the dataset itself.
Explain that. How does being first in a dataset actually matter?
Well, LLMs are constantly learning and updating their weights. That basically means how strongly they associate certain concepts with certain answers. If your competitors are flooding the web with optimized content that defines the industry terms their way, the AI starts to accept that as the standard definition.
So they are literally writing the textbook that the AI studies.
And you aren't even in the library. If you wait 2 years to start, you aren't just starting from zero, you are starting from negative territory. You have to untrain the AI from thinking your competitor is the only viable option.
That sounds expensive.
It is incredibly expensive. The cost of maintaining a lead is always lower than the cost of chasing one down.
Okay.
If I go to ChatGPT right now, ask a basic question about your industry, and your competitor comes up, but the clock is ticking loudly.
Okay. So we have reliance on service-based models, complexity, and competition. Those are the green lights to invest. But the fifth indicator, this one really stopped me in my tracks when I was reading the source. It treats this almost like a prerequisite.
Indicator number 5, brand positioning clarity.
Why is this a technical requirement? This sounds like something the marketing department argues about in a boardroom with a bunch of sticky notes. You know what is our essence.
It does sound a bit fluffy, doesn't it? But this is actually where most businesses fail. The expert advice here is brutal and blunt. You cannot invest in AI visibility if you do not know who you are.
But can't I just figure it out as I go? Or, hey, let the AI figure it out for me. Hey, ChatGPT, what is my brand?
You could try, but you really won't like the answer. Think about how these models work strictly from a technical perspective. They are probabilistic engines. They look for patterns and consistency across the vastness of the internet.
Okay, patterns.
So imagine your website says you're a premium high-touch consultancy for elite clients, but your LinkedIn posts sound like a discount bargain bin trying to get quick sales. And then your white papers are written in dry, boring academic jargon.
The signals are mixed.
The pattern is completely broken. The AI gets confused. It calculates the probability of what you actually are. And because the data is conflicting, it essentially hallucinates a middle ground that doesn't even exist. It creates a sludge.
A brand sludge.
Or worse, it just ignores you entirely because its confidence score is too low. It prefers to pull from sources that are consistent. The source emphasizes that clarity is the fuel. If you feed the AI murky, conflicted information, it will spit out murky, conflicted answers to your potential customers. You cannot automate clarity. You have to create it manually first.
So if a company is going through an identity crisis, maybe they just pivoted, or they have two founders who fiercely disagree on the vision they should not be spending money on AI visibility yet.
Absolutely not. They need to sit in a room, lock the door, and agree on the core message. Only then can they amplify it through AI.
This is such a helpful checklist. It really takes all the emotion out of the decision. But I want to pivot to the risk side of things. The source warns about a strategic trap. The tension between being an early mover and just engaging in premature spending.
Right, because we are so conditioned in the business world to believe that early is always better.
Fortune favors the bold and all that. We all want to be on the bleeding edge of tech.
But in business, fortune actually favors the prepared. Premature spending is when you invest simply because it's the new thing, even though your business isn't ready, or just frankly doesn't need it yet.
Can you give us a concrete example of that, based on the source's logic, who should not be doing this right now? I want to save someone some money today.
Let's imagine a local traditional business, let's say a distributor of standard A4 printer paper in Manchester.
Okay. A paper company. Like Dunder Mifflin, but real.
Exactly. Now think about their business model. They sell a basic commodity product. A ream of paper is a ream of paper. Their customers are likely existing corporate accounts who just reorder every month via a quick email. They don't get new business from people Googling what is paper.
Right. And nobody is asking ChatGPT to explain the deep philosophy of their specific printer paper.
Precisely. Their brand is simple. We sell paper, it arrives on time. If that business goes out and hires a high-end consultant to build a comprehensive AI visibility strategy and optimize all their content for LLMs, that is premature spending.
It's just waste.
It is total waste. They are solving a problem they do not have. They aren't losing search traffic to AI because nobody searches for them that way to begin with. They don't have a complex story that needs interpreting.
They're just paying a massive invoice to feel modern.
Yes. And the Rank 4 AI Guide explicitly warns against this. It advocates for that British sensibility we talked about, calm strategy. Innovation isn't about using every new tool that drops. It's about using the tools that actually move the needle for your specific revenue model.
I think that is so empowering. It gives our listeners permission to say no to the hype. You don't have to jump on every bandwagon just because it's passing by your office.
Exactly. It moves the entire conversation from, you must do this, to, does this fit my structural reasoning?
Structured reasoning, that's the key term. So let's bring this all into a decision matrix. If I'm a listener sitting at my desk right now, maybe looking at my marketing budget for the next quarter, how do I make the final call?
You look at the intersection of your business model and your strategic goals. I'd suggest a simple 3-step mental check based directly on the source.
Hit me. Step 1.
Step 1. Audit your revenue. Is organic search a foundational pillar of your income? If the answer is yes, you are vulnerable, proceed to Step 2.
Step 2.
Step 2. Audit your offering. Do you sell wisdom or expertise rather than just a physical widget? Do you actively have to explain what you do to prospects? If yes, proceed.
And Step 3?
Step 3. Audit your mirror. Is your brand message perfectly consistent across every single channel you own?
And if the answer to that last one is no?
Then put the checkbook away. Your immediate job isn't AI technology. It's business strategy. You have to fix the foundation before you try to build the skyscraper.
That's a great takeaway. It really anchors this whole discussion. We started by talking about how search has changed from blue links to synthesized answers. And it's so easy to feel like that's just a technical change, something for the IT department or the SEO agency to handle in the background.
But it's not. It's a fundamental shift in how human knowledge is retrieved and trusted. The source material is highlighting that we are rapidly moving into an era of answer engines, not search engines.
Answer engines. I really like that term. It feels very definitive.
It is. Think about it. A search engine gives you options. An answer engine gives you, well, the answer. And if you want to be the answer, you have to be understandable to the machine. That's really the core of it all. The machine can only cite what it can fully comprehend.
And what I found really helpful about this source is that it tells you exactly what it depends on. Business consultants love to say it depends, but they rarely actually tell you the variables. This guide removes the anxiety of the unknown.
When you have clear criteria, you don't need anxiety. You just have a practical decision to make.
So here is where we land. AI visibility is undoubtedly the next frontier. There's no doubt about that. But it requires a specific business profile to be worth the heavy investment today. For you, the listener, you now have a filter. When you see those headlines screaming about the AI revolution, you can pause, look at your 5 indicators, and decide calmly if today is the day to act.
Or if today's the day to just keep working on your brand clarity.
Well said. But before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with a thought to mull over. We talked about how brand positioning clarity is a hard prerequisite for AI visibility. You need to be clear so the AI can understand you. But I'm wondering, could the reverse actually be true?
What do you mean by that?
Well, imagine you try to optimize for AI. You feed all your company's content into a model to test it. You do a dry run, and you realize the AI literally cannot explain your business back to you. It spits out gibberish, or it constantly mistakes you for your cheapest competitor.
Right. I see where you're going.
Is that a failure of the AI technology, or is that actually the ultimate diagnostic tool?
Like the canary in the coal mine.
Exactly. If the smartest pattern recognition machine on the planet can't figure out what you sell or why it matters, maybe the problem isn't the bot. Maybe the problem is that your business strategy itself is just too confused to survive the next decade.
That is a very provocative thought.
Mhm.
Using the AI not just as a marketing channel to reach people, but as a brutal mirror for your own internal business confusion. Because if you can't convince the algorithm, you probably aren't convincing the humans either.
Something for you to mull over as you look at your own strategy. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into AI visibility. We hope it helped clear up the signal from the
It
noise.
was a real pleasure to unpack it.
We will catch you on the next one.